Hello there, welcome back to Zany Kids Storytime. I hope you're all sitting comfortably for today's story. Today we're going to be reading Molly and the Stormy Sea. It's written by Malachy Doyle and illustrated by Andrew Whitson. Let's begin. Molly and the Stormy Sea. Molly woke. The house was silent. She ran to her parents' room. There was no one there, and Molly knew then that there was something wrong, very wrong. There'd been a storm brewing when she went to bed. Her mother had sat up all through the night, but Molly's father, out in his little red fishing boat, hadn't returned. Molly went back to her room and found her two most precious things, the brass locket that her lovely granny had given her and her beloved doll. Then, on tippy toes, so as not to wake anyone else, Molly ran down the stairs and out of the house. Down the hill and across the shore she raced to the harbour. "It's all right, Megan," she said, trying to comfort her beautiful doll. "Daddy'll be all right, I know he will." But as she approached the quay, Molly heard the weeping and wailing of the fishermen's wives, and there was her own mother on her knees, praying. Molly went down to the shore, instead of joining the others on the harbour wall, and opened her pretty locket. In it she kept her most treasured possessions. In it were 20 little cowrie shells. The only place you could find them was on the beach at the back of the island, and you never got more than one at a time. Molly raised her arm high. "See," she cried, "I will give you all of my beautiful shells, but only if you bring back my daddy." She flung them then into the cold, cold water. The sea took her delicate cowries, and Molly waited. She watched and she waited, but there was no sign of her father. So Molly opened her precious locket again and took out the only other thing it held, a photograph. Pressing it to her lips and then to her heart, she bent down and laid it on the water. "This is my daddy," she said to the sea. "Please find him. Please bring him back to me." The sea, calm at last after the anger of the night, took the photo and drew it out. And for long, long minutes Molly scanned the flat horizon. But there was still no sign of the little red boat, still no sign of her father. There was only one thing left to give, Molly's most prized possession, her only toy. "Oh, Megan," she said, hugging her tightly one last time, "I'm so sorry." And she placed her pretty little doll on the wave. "Go find my daddy, Megan." And she cried out to the sea, "Take her, take everything I have, but give me back my father." The sea accepted Molly's offering, pulling her doll beneath the water. Then up to the surface bobbed little Megan, and the tide carried her out, out beyond reach, out beyond return. Molly wept at the loss of her delicate little cowries. She wept at the loss of the only photograph she'd ever had of her father. Molly wept most of all at the loss of her beloved doll. But then she wiped away her tears, took a deep breath, and waited. Molly watched, and she waited, and her heart was full of hope. Little Megan, her beautiful doll, got smaller and smaller as she drifted out to sea. Smaller and smaller, till she was just a speck on the horizon, and then she was gone. But a cry rose from the harbour wall. "A boat! A boat!" Everyone peered into the distance to see if it was true. "Yes," cried Molly. It was a little red fishing boat. Oh yes, she yelled, for she could see a man, and another man, and another, all three of them safe and well, all the fathers of the island coming home to their wives and families. Molly ran to her mother and clung on tightly as the little red boat breasted the wave closer and closer, and there, at the front, waving to them, was Daddy, my lovely Daddy. He had something in his hand. He was holding it high for them to see. It's Megan, cried her mother. Look, Molly, your daddy's found your little doll. No, Mummy, said Molly, with the biggest smile ever. Little Megan found Daddy. I hope you enjoyed that story. I'll see you all again soon.